Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, let me introduce myself. My name is Muthia Safira Lisandi. My NPM is 234111028. I'm from class MNJ 23C. In this video, I will explain a little about consumer protection. The first is understanding. Consumer protection is a series of efforts aimed at protecting the rights and interests of consumers in various aspects of transactions. This includes ensuring that consumers receive correct and accurate information about the products or services they purchase, receive safe and quality products and services, and have access to submit complaints and obtain compensation if they experience losses due to products or services that do not comply with their requirements. Promised. Next, basics of consumer protection law. 1. Definition of consumer. UUPK defines consumer as every person who uses goods and/or services for their own needs and/or not for trading. This definition is broad and includes anyone who buys goods or services for personal needs, either for themselves or their family, and not for resale. 2. Consumer rights. UUPK provides various rights to consumers to ensure they receive fair treatment and are protected in transactions. Some key consumer rights include the right to security, safety and health in consuming goods and/or services. Consumers have the right to obtain products or services that are safe, do not endanger their health, and do not pose a risk to their safety. The right to obtain correct, clear and honest information about goods and/or services. Consumers have the right to obtain complete and accurate information about the products or services they wish to purchase, including composition, how to use, side effects and warranties. The right to choose goods and/or services. Consumers have the freedom to choose products or services that suit their needs and desires, without any coercion or manipulation on the part of the seller. The right to be satisfied with the goods and/or services purchased. Consumers have the right to receive products or services that are as promised and meet their expectations. The right to obtain compensation for losses suffered due to the use of goods and/or services. If consumers experience losses due to products or services that are defective or do not comply with what was promised, they have the right to obtain compensation from business actors. 3. Consumer obligations. Although they have various rights, consumers also have an obligation to act honestly and responsibly in transactions. Some consumer obligations include: have good intentions in carrying out transactions. Consumers are expected to be honest, open, and not take actions that are detrimental to other parties in the transaction. Pay according to the agreed price. Consumers are obliged to pay the price agreed with the business actor, according to the type and quantity of goods or services purchased. Maintain the goods and/or services purchased. Consumers are expected to properly care for and maintain the goods or services purchased, in accordance with applicable regulations. 4. Business actors. UUPK also regulates business actors, namely everyone who produces, imports, exports, distributes, offers and/or sells goods and/or services. This definition includes various parties involved in the production, distribution and sale of goods and services, from producers to sellers. 5. Guidance and supervision. The government has an important role in coaching and supervising business actors to ensure compliance with UUPK. This is done through various programs and policies, such as counseling, certification and sanctions for business actors who violate the rules. 6. Consumer protection institutions. UUPK also regulates consumer protection institutions, which are tasked with assisting consumers in resolving disputes with business actors. This institution acts as a mediator or facilitator in efforts to resolve problems, provide information and education to consumers, and supervise the implementation of the UUPK. Next, aspects of civil and public law in consumer protection. Consumer protection is an important aspect in the modern legal system, aimed at creating balance in the relationship between consumers and business actors. The legal aspects that regulate consumer protection are divided into two, namely civil law aspects and public law aspects. 1. Civil law aspects. The civil law aspect of consumer protection regulates the legal relationship between consumers and business actors in buying and selling goods and services. In this context, civil law acts as a basis for consumers to demand their rights and obtain compensation if their rights are violated. This legal relationship is individual in nature, where consumers and business actors have their respective rights and obligations which are regulated in agreements or contracts. For example, if a consumer buys a defective electronic product, the consumer has the right to demand that the seller repair or replace the product. This right is based on the sale and purchase agreement that has been agreed between the consumer and the seller. Business actors also have an obligation to provide correct and clear information to consumers regarding the products they sell. Violation of this obligation may be the basis for a consumer to claim compensation. 2. Public law aspects. The public law aspect of consumer protection regulates the government's role in protecting consumers. The government's role includes guidance, supervision, and dispute resolution. The government has an obligation to create a safe and fair environment for consumers by ensuring that business actors carry out their business in accordance with applicable regulations. Guidance is carried out through various education and outreach programs to consumers and business actors regarding their rights and obligations. Supervision is carried out through inspections and monitoring of business actors' activities to ensure that they do not violate applicable regulations. Dispute resolution is carried out through court mechanisms or consumer dispute resolution institutions to assist consumers in resolving disputes with business actors. For example, the government can issue regulations that regulate product safety standards so that consumers can be protected from dangerous products. The government can also impose sanctions on business actors who violate regulations, such as fines or revocation of business permits. Apart from that, the government can also provide consultation services and legal assistance for consumers who experience disputes with business actors. Next is the resolution of consumer protection disputes. Disputes between consumers and business actors are a common occurrence. To resolve this dispute, there are two main routes that can be taken, namely settlement outside court and settlement in court. Out-of-court settlement. Out-of-court settlement, or better known as Alternative Dispute Resolution, APS, is an effort to resolve disputes without involving the courts. APS is based on mutual agreement between both parties, both with and without the assistance of a neutral third party. APS offers several advantages, such as a faster process, lower costs, and more flexible results compared to court. Mediation. Mediation is a form of APS that involves a neutral third party called a mediator. The mediator's job is to facilitate negotiations between consumers and business actors. The mediator does not have the authority to decide the outcome of the dispute, but only helps both parties to reach a mutually beneficial agreement. Mediation is effective for resolving disputes that are personal or involve emotions, because the mediator can help both parties to understand each other's perspectives and find a fair solution. Arbitrage. Arbitration is a form of APS that involves a panel of independent arbitrators. The arbitrator has the authority to decide the outcome of the dispute based on the facts and applicable law. The arbitrator's decision is final and binding on both parties. Arbitration is suitable for resolving disputes that are technical in nature or involve parties who have special expertise. Settlement in court. If efforts to settle outside of court fail, consumers can file a lawsuit in court. The court will examine and decide the dispute based on applicable law. The court's decision is final and binding on both parties. The court route is the last option that should be taken if efforts to settle outside of court do not produce results. Next, consumer protection practices in business. In practice, consumer protection material in business law covers various aspects, such as business ethics. Business actors must conduct business with good ethics, respect consumer rights, and avoid practices that are detrimental to consumers. Contracts. Sales and purchase contracts between consumers and business actors must be made fairly and transparently, taking into account the rights and obligations of each party. Advertising and promotion. Advertising and promotions must be honest, not misleading, and in accordance with applicable regulations. Product safety. Business actors are responsible for the safety of the products they sell, and are obliged to provide clear information about how to use it and the risks that may occur. Guarantee and return of goods. Business actors must provide guarantees and return facilities for goods in accordance with applicable regulations. Customer service. Business actors are required to provide good, responsive and professional customer service. So, the conclusion. Consumer protection is very important to create a fair and transparent market, where consumers are protected from irresponsible business practices and businesses conduct business ethically. This is achieved through recognizing and protecting consumer rights as well as enforcing regulations against business actors who violate regulations. The ultimate goal is to empower consumers and encourage responsible business practices. Okay, that's enough of my understanding about consumer protection. I'll end it. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.